This is Barbara Mann from Your Empowered You, and welcome to our video on building a successful rewards and recognition program. In this video, we're going to talk about why do you need a rewards and recognition program. And just FYI, these are really, really important things to have in any size of organizations, whether you have a small organization or a large organization. And then we're going to talk about what is necessary for a robust program. Like, what type of program do you need? Do you need multiple ones? What kind of measurements do you need? Things of that nature. So there are definite key elements that are needed for a truly robust and successful rewards and recognition program. But let's go ahead and talk about why do you need these types of programs in an organization. You know, the number one thing is because it makes people feel valued. You know, I mean, people like to be rewarded and recognized for a job well done. If they exceed expectations, if they come up with something that is like a key process improvement, or they do, you know, a lot of volunteer efforts, they want to be recognized and really feel valued in their efforts. And so it's obviously, you know, it's obvious, it makes sense. You know, and the other thing is employees like seeing other people rewarded and recognized. You know, they know who is doing great work, and they love to kind of feel that recognition along with, you know, the actual person. It really is contagious. And it sends that message that, you know, your great work pays off. People recognize it. They appreciate it. You're rewarded for it. And it creates that sort of inspiration for everybody to do their best and do the, you know, their extra effort and things of that nature. And it builds that camaraderie. So somebody is really recognized for a job well done, and say they win an award, or they, you know, whatever that reward and looks like in your organization, it builds that camaraderie. It's, you know, hey, great job. And maybe it's somebody that you don't really know, but you're like, wow, they did that. That's fantastic. It just builds like a really good team environment. So let's talk about what's necessary for a rewards and recognition program. And, you know, here's the key to it, is that there should be various programs going simultaneously, whether it's for, you know, individual contributions, whether it's for team contributions, your whole office or department contributions, and then sometimes most companies have like a company, you know, rewards recognition. That could come in the form of a bonus or whatever that looks like, you know. But there should be different programs going on at the same time and not just, you know, one type of program. There should be continuity, whether that looks, whether it's daily, which, you know, I don't normally see a lot of daily sort of rewards and recognition type of programs, but, you know, weekly, maybe monthly, quarterly, annually, whatever that looks like, but there should be some sort of consistency and continuity. There should be some type of reward. You know, what does that look like? Is it a monetary reward, involving, you know, bonuses or gift cards? Is it time off of work? You know, maybe some personal time off. Could look like just luncheons. Could be just, you know, a great parking spot. You've seen those employee of the month parking spots. And it could just be a simple, like, you know, candy bar. You know, a lot of times if there's a lot of monthly awards going on, you may just have a candy bar. It's just basically, you know, a lot of it is about the recognition, and whatever reward that looks like could be small. It means something to people. It really does mean something to people. And, you know, depending on the program, a candy bar might suffice. It might, you know, meet like, you know, 20 people met some sort of expectation. And maybe you can't afford to give, you know, huge monetary gift cards all over the place. So it could look like a candy bar. It could look like a lottery scratcher ticket, you know, something small. The point is that it doesn't have to be huge. Sometimes it is huge. It could be as simple as just some sort of small item as a reward. So what else is necessary? You need measurements of success. It can't be, you know, these things can go bad if it's perceived as a popularity contest. So it's got to be based on some sort of, you know, metric. Normally, organizations have key performance indicators or audits. You know, whatever the metric is, that's kind of your minimum expectation. So it should be based on some sort of metric, or maybe some sort of fabulous suggestion, some process improvement that someone suggested, volunteer efforts above and beyond. And it could be also, nominations, maybe from fellow employees. Sometimes you have certain roles in an organization that maybe they don't have a lot of the same metrics as others. So you want to make sure that those folks are involved in the program, and that might look like, again, some sort of nomination type of effort. You want to make sure that the program is fair, because I touched on this earlier. You do not want this to be perceived as a popularity contest, that there's favoritism. You don't want that. You want it based on something that somebody has done well and you can be measured, or again, other people are recognizing your effort. So be real careful, because it's got to be very, very fair, and that means it's got to be very precise on how you're going to measure these things and how people are going to win, especially if it's a bigger award. You want to make sure that it's inclusive so that all levels can participate. And if all levels can't, maybe you have one person who's doing a very specific job or two people doing a specific job. We've got to figure out ways to make sure that they are included or develop a category so that they are included. That's really, really important. You're probably going to have a group of people that do a certain amount of work, and it's probably easy to identify certain metrics of success. It's the folks that maybe do specialized work, or maybe it's a little more difficult for them to be included, but it's important to make sure you think about everybody in the organization and develop programs so that everyone can participate. Okay? Now, we talked about some of the rewards, some of the metrics that are needed. So how are you going to communicate this? Because the other thing about a rewards and recognition program is it's got to be communicated. You've got to communicate to others and to the person of a job well done. So it could be done individually, just a simple thank you. It could be done via the team, maybe a smaller team of 8. Maybe it's your whole entire office of 80, 100 people. But the things you got to think about is it going to be done in person? Is it going to be done video? Is it being done via email? It could be a combination of these things. Is there going to be a newsletter? Are there going to be photos? I mean, you got to think about what kind of communication means you're going to have to ensure that everybody knows that somebody's getting recognized, because that's important. It depends on what the effort is. If it's something where you're having if everybody who meets a certain type of metric is going to receive this, you want to make sure that everybody knows who is receiving this award. So the communication means is darn important as well, because again, you want everybody to know that these people are recognized. So letting others know is important, because this stuff is contagious. People like to hear good news, right? So let's go ahead and wrap this up in a bow and summarize what we've talked about. Some of the key elements. One size does not fit all in terms of rewards and recognition program. It really depends on the size of your organization, the different levels of employees. So one size does not fit all. So one organization, it could look like this, another one looks like that. But some of the things that should be sort of similar is that there should be programs running simultaneously, whether it's something that is done in the team or done in the office individually, whatever that looks like, but individual, team, office, department, and company type of rewards and recognition program should be running simultaneously. And really that is, to me, and this is my opinion, independent of the size of an organization. There should be some sort of measurement of success or a way to nominate employees, or to identify their extraordinary efforts. So to avoid any kind of unfairness or popularity contest, you want to make sure you include everybody in your organization when it comes to rewards and recognitions. Nobody wants to feel excluded and think, oh well, I can never be recognized because I don't do this type of job. So we've got to be creative in making sure that people feel all inclusive. And think about the various types of rewards. You know, you got your obvious ones where it's monetary, it's gift cards, it's luncheons, it's trips. But also think of smaller ones and get creative, you know. Whatever works for your organization. Doesn't have to be a huge organization monetary buster. It could be something small, especially if you're giving a lot of little awards out. This is really about, you know, recognizing people who are doing a darn good job. And there are a lot of people in the organization who do a darn good job. You want to recognize them continuously. And then finally, having a means of how you're going to communicate that. You know, is it going to be in person in a big office environment or team environment? Is it going to be done via, you know, email, a newsletter? You got to think about how are you communicating that as well, because again, that's important. You want to let your colleagues know. It inspires them. It builds the camaraderie. It makes them feel good, you know, to say, hey, good job. You know, it really does make people feel good. Probably the people who are listening to the person being recognized, you just kind of share in that happiness. So I hope you've enjoyed our video on building a robust rewards and recognition program. I can't stress enough how important these programs are to employees. So thank you for attending, and for additional resources or to schedule a session with me, please visit my website at www.yourimpoweredyou.com, or you can email me at bman@yourimpoweredyou.com, or you can call me at 916-633-2555. And I thank you very much and have a very empowered day.